It's Northern Colorado High School football. This broadcast is brought to you by Jim's Wings, Northern Colorado's favorite wings since 1991. By Pedersen Toyota in Fort Collins, everything cars made easy. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in Northern Colorado. First Bank, banking for good. And now for the play-by-play, here's David Haase and Randy McCoy.
Beautiful look, midfield, Ray Patterson Stadium, Loveland, Colorado, here on a Thursday night as we get ready for elite Class 4A football here in the state of Colorado. The number 2 team in the state taking on number 3. It'll be Loveland Indians hosting the Broomfield Eagles. No disrespect to the next play mentality, but a lot of kids down on the field, especially upperclassmen, remember 285 days ago when they played in a quarterfinal matchup in the playoffs. The final, separation of just 1 point in overtime. Loveland, their only loss of the season to the team and the program. They're about to meet again this evening, the Broomfield Eagles. Marty Cesario along with Randy McCoy, our executive producer Phil Mildren, Max Fink, the stud on the lens, giving you the beautiful visuals. We are again here in Loveland, Colorado, getting ready for a 4A matchup of a couple of juggernaut programs, currently and historically. I mean, this is old school.
Yeah, this should be a good one. 1 point divided them in overtime last year. Right now they're ranked 2 and 3 in the state. Doesn't get much better than that on a Thursday night. The weather couldn't be any better. This is what they call, I think, a Chamber of Commerce night here in Loveland, Colorado.
Yeah, that's fair, too. It just looks good. And not only the entire city as I came in, I'm coming down from the Denver metro area, but also just the way the stadium, the facility looks, very impressive.
Yes, very nice, very nice.
We call it front porch.
Yes.
Because of the look, it's your first impression. Well, it's looking really nice out here, so a credit to the folks from Thompson Valley High School, of course, the entire school district, and all the folks in the city of Loveland. I think we're set to go for a very entertaining evening. And, of course, really what matters most is what's about to occur out on the football field. Again, it'll be number 3 Broomfield visiting number 2 Loveland. That'll be coming up with Stream It Sports and ASBN.
Pay your friends back before they pay you back. Zelle on the First Bank app. First Bank, banking for good.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's National Clearance Event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2018 RAV4, or get $2,500 cash back on RAV4. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Right.
Again, a nice tight shot of the military personnel downstairs, just finishing up the national anthem, now getting ready for Class 4A elite football. Loveland, Colorado. It's currently 81 degrees. Been a beautiful day all day long. It's been a solid week. The Indian summer once again here in Colorado.
Yeah, and this is, again, our first time on Streaming Sports to be here at Loveland High School. We are going to be broadcasting a few games, a couple of big games. This one and also against Fort Collins later in the year. So I want to welcome all of our Loveland fans as well as our Broomfield fans who have watched games before.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Honored to be around at Ray Pedersen Stadium to watch these guys and what they're about to do. Randy McCoy, you're hearing his voice. He's been up here providing these broadcasts in the market for
7 years. This is our 7th year.
And it's very interesting. It's a game note that we should share. First time ever coming to this facility.
It is.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
So we're happy to do that. We'll be going to Greeley West later in the year as well, and Skyline. So we'll be traveling a bit.
Throwing out a lot of big names in terms of Class 4A football. And again, we have a pair here that are sitting within the top 3 in the current CHSAA polls. Broomfield Eagles, they are ranked number 3 right now. They have the benefit of some tangible game film. They just won last week a victory over their in-town neighbor Legacy in the Mayor's Cup. And boy, were they impressive. They won 55-14 over Legacy just last week, so they come in 1-0, yet to enter conference play. The Loveland Indians, the hosts of tonight's contest, ranked 2nd in the state under head coach Wayne McGinn, have yet to play, so this is their debut again. This is the first football game for these guys since 285 days ago when they lost by 1 point, suffering a missed PAT, losing in the quarterfinals to the Broomfield Eagles. So that'll be coming up in just a few moments. Loveland will kick off their 2018 season. Broomfield visiting these Loveland Indians. Blair Hubbard, the head coach of the Broomfield Eagles, his 3rd year, won 3 state titles in Class 2A with Faith Christian. In his first year as head of the program in 2016, he took Broomfield all the way to the state championship game. Loveland Indians, I mentioned Wayne McGinn, 6-year head coach.
Been a juggernaut. They have really just been.
I mean, he has built a program, hasn't he?
Yeah, and they've got some people who've played pretty high up in college as well. I had a quarterback that played at K-State a few years ago, and his name's slipping my mind right now. But
Colin Klein.
Yeah, so they've had some athletes come through here.
Yeah, he's even sent a wine master.
Well, we talking about one of the teams haven't played yet, and you say, well, it's just one game. But, we saw in volleyball last night, Chaparral had played 2 games. Right. Fossil Ridge had not, and I think, I'm a homer for Fossil Ridge, but still I think there was things that towards the end of the game that Fossil Ridge wasn't able to do. And, of course, we had the number 1 and 2 game last night. So, anyway, we'll see if that's the same here.
Momentum, rhythm, I think it makes a difference, and that's why I wanted to point it out. Also, the game tape, and that's why I use the word tangible, is Broomfield, has already played a game, so they've got the momentum, that feel of being on the football field. Loveland, though, it could be a benefit for them to see Broomfield in live action already in 2018 after the Eagles won that game over Legacy just last week. So, again, Marty Cesario on the call with Randy McCoy, Max Fink, providing visuals along with executive producer Phil Mildren. A Stream It Sports production here on ASBN. As you can see, Loveland wearing red with the black helmets kicking off to the Broomfield Eagles. And we are underway. Thursday night, Class 4A football contest into the end zone. No chance to advance. And so we'll see our first look this evening of the Broomfield offense. That offense will be led by All-State quarterback Stephen Kroll. They've got Dylan Torres, who had a monster game last week, 150-plus yards, 4 TDs rushing. Got some receivers that have some experience, and then along the line, Joey DeCamillis, Tyler Carpenter, Ryan Ruger, Ryan Capasso, Bryant Walker, the tight end, Zach Zaire. So we will see Broomfield take their first snap from the 20-yard line with 12 minutes on the clock, just underway, first quarter. There's a handoff to the right side, and then carry.
And we'll have to say my traditional, we play 4 12-minute quarters here in Colorado high school football, so
that's how we do it.
Please enjoy.
Let's look at the starters for the Loveland Indians defense. I'll rattle them off quickly. Travis Betches, the defensive end, along with Colin Morrison, Austin Jones, the nose man. The D-backs, just 3, Rakowski, Myers, and Weinmaster. And then they've got 5 linebackers that I'll read off after this snap. Motion man behind Kroll. He steps back, left-handed release. And that is a successful connection to Mitchell Morales.
What a pretty throw, and one of the Loveland Indians deked the receiver into a little penalty. He was trying to get up and looked like somebody wouldn't let him, so I thought it was incidental, but and they called it against Loveland, so he tried to deke the Broomfield receiver, and it backfired.
Well, that was after the stoppage in play. Mitch Morales made the reception, got near the 35, and you can see the result of the flag. Personal foul infraction. Now Broomfield is midfield. As again, we just got started first quarter. Handoff to the interior. Dylan Torres stopped by that Loveland defensive front.
By a line of Indians among Colby Hawk and Colin Morrison.
No gain on that carry by Torres. Kroll from the gun, looking to the near side. That was right on target, through the hands, and then from there, ball popped up in the air. You're waiting for the defensive backs of Loveland to see if they had a chance to get an interception. Not the case.
Very fortunate that it wasn't intercepted. Just simple physics. There wasn't anybody close enough for it to hit the ground, huh?
Well, Loveland makes a stop there. 3rd down, 10. Kroll passing from the gun, screen set up. Boy, that's a nice piece of work defensively by the Loveland Indians. Cody Rakowski, the cornerback, stepping into the play and making the stop, forcing what should be a punting situation.
Defender came through, had one blocker to beat. He beat him and was able to knock the ball loose.
So a nice job settling down the Loveland Indians defense. They do return those linebackers. I never named them off. Caleb Smith, Trey Cardenas, their leading tackler, a return starter from last year. Big boy Sean Boylan, the Cowboy, Michael Deshane, and Colby Mock. So good job by Loveland forcing this punting situation. Rugby style, near side. End over end. And boy, that's a nice hustle on the part of River Juarez, but he can't get to the football, so it will be a touchback, and we'll get a first look at the Loveland offense.
I'll tell you what, those colors are popping tonight, aren't they? And that green grass and blue skies and all kinds of colors there. Good job, Max, on the shot there.
That looks absolutely beautiful. Again, it's been close to 90 degrees throughout the course of the day, and that's how it's been all week here in Colorado along the Front Range. Currently 80 degrees just after kickoff. We're only a minute and a half into the first quarter here of this contest between Broomfield, now defending in white.
What a shift.
3rd. And they go to the run game. No! Fake the belly. Boy, nice piece of ball handling by the quarterback. And that'll be a first down pickup for Loveland. And a flag down after the tackle made on the quarterback. So Riley Kinney goes 12 yards, gets to the 32-yard line, and the flag's going to be waved off.
The flag is waved off. The sideline warning.
You know, if you're watching, folks, if you're a football geek, watch how many motions. You had people started as a wide receiver, ended up as a guard. That was a heck of a motion offense.
Well, McGinn goes to the run game once again, and this is expected to the all-state running back, the senior Zach running along the edges of the 5 offensive linemen, then a quarterback, a fullback, a wing, and a tailback.
Second down 5 for the Indians.
That quarterback, Riley Kinney, we announced him on that 12-yard run earlier. Michael Duchesne, the starting fullback, Cody Rakowski, the wing, and Zach Weinmanster, again, the tailback. Here it is, Kinney going to keep it near side, has some space, steps through, and here he is in the open field. He's on his way, 20, 10, across the goal line, 2 flags on the field.
Blocking the back. Well, he's a long strider, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Not as thick, but since we have the Rocky Mountain Showdown coming up this week between Colorado and Colorado State, reminds me of Chris Brown with that lengthy stride. But right now, Loveland a little dejected because after that huge play by Riley Kinney, the quarterback,
Blocking the back, illegal use.
coming all the way back. So that negates.
It's a spot foul, so
It would have been a 68-yard touchdown run. Not going to be the case, as Randy McCoy is pointing out. Instead, they'll get the first down.
they got 33 of it.
Yeah, they got 33 yards. So Riley Kinney so far has, quick math, 45 yards rushing in this opening series for the Loveland Indians at 9.5 minutes left in this opening quarter between number 2 and number 3 in Class 4A. Tailback slips, knee was down as he took the ball into his belly. That'll be a loss on that play. Weinmaster. And then there is a Loveland Indian still on the turf right now, rolling around. Loveland in red with the black hats. They're the hosts here at Ray Pedersen Stadium in Loveland, Colorado. This is on the campus of Thompson Valley High School. But the district teams play here. Broomfield's defense will go off the field and will take a timeout. We wish the best for the young man on the field.
First Street Signs, Reynolds Wisdom Teeth and Oral Facial Surgery, American Family Insurance Agent Lonnie David, Times Nissan, Ace Hardware, Les Schwab.
Well, that's good news. Trey Cardenas, a two-way starter for Loveland, laying on the field after that loss of yardage in the attempting run play to Weinmaster. 24 comes off the field. He'll be attended to by the medical staff of Loveland. We'll keep an eye on Mr. Cardenas. Meanwhile, huddle breaks. Kinney stays in the gun, flanked on the far side by Weinmaster. 2nd and 12. Run play. Keeper up the middle. Kinney, and that is stopped nicely by the Broomfield defense.
Well, that's called being stood up. He actually ran into the back of his own man, 66, but that's because he was stood up by the defender.
Let's look
nice
at that
play.
Defense for Broomfield up front. Brendan McKinney, Kevin Allen, and Mackay Piper, the starting 3 on the defensive front. Behind them, the linebackers, Hale Edmonds, Zach Zaire, Mark Georgiton, and Ryan Capasso. Keeper, Kinney. Boy, nice step and bounces to the outside. Tackled after a 5-yard gain. Happy with himself is Andrew Alibardo, the starting strong safety. So the junior does nice work there before Kinney can break free again. The other starters on the Broomfield defense, Trey Ortega and Troy Finnegan, the cornerbacks, and the free safety is Samuel Godwin. Broomfield, interesting, their defense from last year, retooling. 3 returning starters otherwise. Everybody retooling here on that defense. fake to the motion. Kinney going to pass downfield. Has a man. It's collected. Going to be a first down for Loveland across the 20. He still advances past the 15-yard line and taken out of bounds. Sean Boylan, another two-way stud for Loveland.
We don't know who that is.
Kenny's a sharp-looking athlete, let me tell you.
First down, Indians.
Set the ball at the 12-yard line. Red zone now. Loveland threatening. Their defense allowed one first down and then held and forced to punt. Now Loveland trying to complete an 80-yard march in their opening series of their 2018 season. Run play to the middle, to the 5-yard line.
8-yard line. 8 yards down the 5-yard line.
That carry by Cody Rakowski, the wingback. Second down and 5. Nose of the football's at the 5-yard line. Quickly, that offensive front looking to blast some more gaps. To the middle, across the goal line. Touchdown, Loveland.
Impressive drive.
That was very impressive.
Again, Loveland with a rich hit, both these schools, rich histories. And they did nothing to thwart that in that drive, did they?
No. Rich in recent history, and then, again, there's a couple of schools that have been around for quite a long time competing in football here in the state of Colorado. Waiting the point after attempt. Rakowski, left foot, up and good.
Boy. Had some foot on that one. Of course, we'll have to ask our old buddy David Haase what it was like back in those 20s and 30s, what kind of high schools were around back then. So Mr. Haase is out having a little family time with his brother tonight. Want to wish him well. And fortunate to have Mr. Marty Cesario with us tonight.
Yeah, you downgraded, but I'm functional.
Yeah, well, you know, we do what we have to do to. No, Marty is as we know, is really a legend in prep sports. And it's called mini games, calls all the state games and the mini sports and different things. So very happy to have Marty with us tonight. Part of the Stream of Sports team, has been for a few years now.
Again, wish the best for Dave Haase.
Rakowski will kick off. Trey Ortega.
Got a busy week, tending to the family, and then, of course, tomorrow he'll be rooting on his Colorado State Rammies in the Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Yeah, I think he might be down there tomorrow night. I've got to pull my son out of cover for him tomorrow night.
Broomfield receives deep in the end zone. That'll be no return attempt for Peyton Peters. So a 3-yard touchdown run finishes off a 7-play, 80-yard drive for the Loveland Indians. 7 runs. The 1 pass to Sean Boylan, which was certainly successful. And the Indians now defending. Again, Loveland in the red tops, red pants, black lids have a 7-point lead early in this Class 4A football contest. Just under 7 to play. Broomfield from their own 20. Run game once again. Samuel Godwin. A short gain for Broomfield.
After a gain of 2. Second down, 8.
I want to give our condolences tonight to our executive producer, Phil, and his wife, Jody, had to put down their dog tonight, and I really feel bad. Those of you who have dogs know how big a deal that is, so prayers are with them. And while I was yapping,
12-start penalty will go against the Eagles. That will back them up 5 yards. Now the second down and 13.
So false start backwards. Minimal flag so far. We've had 1 in each of the series. 1 was gigantic. Remember, the quarterback for Loveland, Kinney, went 68 yards, and that block in the back negated his touchdown run, but Loveland able to endure that and advance past the goal line and get themselves a touchdown. Now we have a timeout for Blair Hubbard and the Broomfield Eagles. And we'll go ahead and take the break. Broomfield down 7 here in the first quarter in Loveland.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
You're watching high school sports on Stream It Sports NoCo.
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 22, Jack Bustamante. Defending on the play was Isaiah Myers.
Flag and a timeout, and then a pass downfield, and Broomfield almost threw a pick. But the defensive back for Loveland unable to corral the football, so no harm there, even though a little bit of a dangerous threat there. Under 6 to play here, third down play coming up. As another flag was down in the field, that's going to be waved off. So that was against Broomfield. Loveland says, we're good. Right now, the Indians of Loveland with a 7-point lead. Their defense looking to force another punt. As we're very early in this Class 4A football contest, live from Loveland. All-state quarterback Steve Kroll looking downfield. One-on-one situation, jump ball. Well, that's a nice joust. Intended target, Mitchell Morales. And a great piece of defensive work. All the way downfield, Isaiah Myers in on the play.
Good football play all the way around.
Absolutely.
Nice throw. It's pretty much on target, but.
Well, Morales runs 6'2", the senior wide receiver, isolated with the defensive back. And I don't think that's a bad play call. You trust your athletes at this level.
You're only down 7. You know, you've got one of the top quarterbacks in the state. You don't figure you're going to only have trouble scoring, so.
Loveland holds Broomfield without a first down on that possession. Ball bounces, and it'll be Myers. Step through one tackle, eventually taken down by the punt team, and we'll give the credit to 27 River Juarez. River Juarez very active on punt team.
I think they call that high risk, high reward.
Juarez, last punting situation, almost downed the ball deep in Loveland territory, was not the case. And then the story again, if you just joined us, to recap, 8 plays, 80 yards. Loveland had quarterback Riley Kinney's 68-yard run negated by a flag, but still Loveland kept moving, and eventually a Zach Weinmaster 3-yard touchdown run put us to where we are now. 7-0 lead, and there goes Kinney once again, stepping through and across the 45-yard line.
For the carry, he'll run for 8 yards before he's dragged down.
How big is Kinney? He's got to be, what, 6'2"?
First contact, second down.
Yeah, Kinney's got some length on him, that's for sure. He's got 190 pounds, 6'4", 190
okay,
is what he's
folks,
listed.
let me tell you, that boy, that's the kind of measurements to play on Saturday, you know it?
Yeah, it does have that look because you can always add to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because me and you used to be 6'4", too, remember? But
yeah, and then suddenly you start to shrink.
Something else. Something happened, though, on the way on the way to the gym.
I'll always claim what Coach would list me. Yeah, 6'2", sounds good. Sounds about right. In my KISS boots.
KISS boots.
Old school reference for Dad.
Yeah. My parents told me about it, so.
That was a 2nd and 2 situation, and look at Loveland. Hard count makes Broomfield's defense jump, and that's the easy way to collect a first down.
So far, it looks like Loveland's the team that's had a game, and Broomfield's first
Fair
game,
statement.
you know.
Yeah.
Much sharper. Just 8 minutes in, but we call them as we seize them.
So that's first down pickup via the flag for the Loveland Indians. 7-point lead for the Indians in red. Ball set 38-yard line in plus territory. Interesting formation. Kinney flanking, but receives the handoff. And pardon me, that was Zach Weinmaster taking the carry, but you may have noticed someone else taking the snap, and that was Zach Rakowski. And now Kinney will trot back on the field, as you see number 2 back in the offensive huddle. Approaching the 4-minute mark remaining in the first quarter here in Loveland. 7-0 lead for the host Indians. And here comes Kinney on the run. He's got a lead block. Steps to the outside, eventually chased down. Nice piece of speed pursuit by Ryan Capasso. We expect to call his name out multiple times. Big kid, 6'4", 215. Senior backer, able to take Kinney down and force a third down situation. 3 yards to go from the 32-yard line.
If you notice that Kinney tucked that ball as soon as he got it. He wasn't thinking about passing. That was a run all the way.
Well, Loveland will run the football a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, if you look at the wide shot right now, there are no ends on the edges. Back to the run game. Inside Weinmaster. First down Indians. The drive stays alive.
Another 4A team we're going to see later in the year that's like Ed is Monarch. Going to see them play Skyline, and they never have anybody out on the wides unless they're down by, a few points.
For 20-plus years, Phil Bravo and Monarch out of Lafayette have been running that double wing, and they've had success, including a couple of state championships. 23-yard line. Loveland continues. Ball fake.
Great fake.
Right up the middle, Kinney. No cut. Just drive forward near another first down.
Young quarterbacks, you see how he faked with all of his might. He didn't just halfway do it. He faked it. If you fake that hard, people will bite.
He sold it. And consider who the audience is. Just got to sell a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Some of them are 15, 16, some 17-year-olds down there. You all have some in your house, don't you?
9-yard gain for the quarterback, Kinney. He's got to be close to the century mark here in the first quarter of this game. About 2:20 on the clock, and now what looks like Wayne McGinn and the coaching staff of Loveland want to take a timeout, and they do, so we'll pause along with them. 7-0 lead, Zach Weinmaster at 6:52 first quarter, and the Loveland Indians are up a touchdown here on ASBN with Stream It Sports.
So we're back here now. 2:16 left in the first quarter. Randy McCoy, Marty Cesario, Maxwell Fink is our cameraman, doing a fine job, and he's got some color tonight to work with, the reds and the blues and the greens, and got a nice shot here. Great level here for broadcasting here at Ray Patterson Field in Loveland, Colorado.
What I like, because I'm in friendly territory and I can say it, is Max Fink has come to work with a Ram shirt on. It is showdown week, after all. Meanwhile, Loveland up 7-0. Their drive continues. Cody Rakowski with the carry. They just needed a yard to extend the series and get a first down, and Rakowski does the job nicely. This is Loveland football going on here, right?
Yeah, this is, I think they say, let's go.
7th play of this series coming up. Ball set at the 12-yard line. The centerman quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Brendan Bauer Man in motion. And ball fake. Handoff to the belly of Zach Weinmaster. And it goes right into the heart of the Broomfield defensive line. Brandon McKinney, Kevin Allen, Mekhi Piper, senior, sophomore, junior, right up front there. And that'll be a short gain, but again, clock keeps ticking. Weinmaster got 4 yards on that play. Weinmaster with the lone score early in this game. That was the previous series. This time to the pass. Kinney rolling, and he's got space. Makes one cut, reaches. I believe that's going to be called a touchdown. No indication yet.
His knee was down at the half-yard line.
Nice eyes, Randy McCoy. The reach was there, but the knee was down. Good eyes, Randy. Nice.
Well, no, I just saw the official had his hand up. So. Every now and then you'll learn I get a good one off.
You're shrinking in height, but your eyes are sharp. Good for you. Well, strong run by Kinney. Clock is ticking. We're about 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Loveland trying to extend their lead here in the first by 2 touchdowns over Broomfield. Kinney, handoff Weinmaster to the middle, and that'll be a touchdown. The second of the game for the All-Stater, Zach Weinmaster.
That young man's he wants to have a season, doesn't he? Weinmaster has just come out, and it's always good to see those fresh legs the first few games of the season. You know, by the end of the year, the legs get a little tired, but right now, boy, everything's running according to plan for Loveland.
Yeah, and again, we go back to the storyline that you can't ignore. You know, these two squads played last November in a quarterfinal game, and Loveland lost by 1 point in overtime. That was heartbreak as the PAT attempt goes up and through successfully.
No, it was no good.
It was off?
It was off.
Just under 30 seconds.
Again,
man, those eyes come in good.
Sharp eyeballs as we lean forward in and out of the press box.
I can't see the ball. I just watch the officials.
So doesn't that work? Because that's the exact reason that Loveland's season ended last year.
As we're talking about it.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
PAT no good, but still, Weinmaster gets in again, his second score of the game, a 13-0 lead for the Loveland Indians.
Watched Broomfield last year in the playoffs beat Windsor handily, which to some would have been a surprise, but talking a little bit about some of our broadcasts, we've got Windsor too. Windsor wants to, they're next down. I think they're 4, and Skyline is number 10. So we've got 4 4A teams that are in the top 10 that we're going to be covering this year. So
we'll always respect anything Chris Jones does out there in the back 40, where he's got the old school apparatus to train his boys in the Windsor Wizards. And then Skyline has been on the rise, an old school, but the program not so good, right?
Yeah, Coach Mike Silva has talked to him earlier in the year as we were setting up these games, and he's pretty pumped about his team.
Well, he's got a couple of All-Staters in Jeremy Hollinsworth at running back and Kyle West, the wide receiver, that he got to move in on defense. So Skyline's a good one to watch, too. Meanwhile, here, Broomfield receiving the kickoff and down 13 points. Boy, there's a nice open field special teams tackle on the part of Sean Boylan.
I look for Broomfield to settle down here now and get something going offensively.
A whole lot of time. Third possession for Broomfield. They have exactly 1 first down. Forced a punt on 2 occasions. So again, third possession for Steve Kroll, the All-State quarterback, and the Broomfield Eagles. They'll start at their own 26-yard line. Handoff, Torres to the interior. Some modest success there. Again, Broomfield has a game under their belt. They took the Mayor's Cup, beat their neighborhood rival in the city of Broomfield, 55-14 over Legacy. Torres was a monster in that game, 150 plus, 4 touchdowns, but right now it's all Loveland through 1 quarter of play. 13-0 Indians here on
We
ASBN.
do have a lot of exciting things going on at Loveland High School.
Here come the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2018 RAV4 or get $2,500 cash back on RAV4. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
We're back here, second quarter. Marty.
Second down play for Broomfield, down 13-0. They go back to the run game, and Dylan Torres. So we saw Stephen Crowell trying to get something done in the passing game. Really a balanced attack in the first two series. Right now, Broomfield trying to settle this game down and going to that run game. And again, to the outside this time. For a little speed run to the exterior, and that's successful. That was Caden Peters, who's going to pick up a first down, but there is a flag on the field, and that's going to come back. That hurts.
Well, you get the feel that, Broomfield's going to figure this out, but you've got to make sure that Loveland's not so far ahead that you can't, you can't see him.
Well, that would have been a first down pickup near midfield for junior Caden Peters. Instead, now presents third down and 10 from the -26. Kroll passing, comes this way. Torres can't bring it in.
Not sure how much he had anyway, but.
Yeah, Mike Lewis was in a great position, read it well. The defensive back / linebacker for the Loveland Indians. And what do you know? The Indians' defense, 3 for 3. Assuming no fake punt, no shenanigans, which, considering the territory, you wouldn't expect that from Blair Hubbard this early. So Loveland's defense forcing 3 consecutive punts on 3 series out on the field. Rugby style, left foot. That's a knuckleball. That's going to be a tough one. Good job getting away from it. So Myers clears out. And what do you know? River Juarez, the gunner, again downfield. We've called his name 3 times now. But that's not exactly the design the coaching staff of Broomfield would like. Us talking about Juarez on punt team. So again, Loveland's defense putting their offense in a good position. The Indians' defense has allowed 1 first down and forced 3 punts. Meanwhile, 2 series, 2 touchdowns for the guys in red. Back to the run game. Winemaster cuts to the inside and chased down. It'll be a short gain and brought down by Zach Zaire.
You look at the offense of Loveland, it's the kind of offense that doesn't really go in slumps much,
It's a fair statement.
You look at, you have a passing game. A lot of times passers get hot or they're cold or something like that, but handing the ball left, right, and quarterback up the middle doesn't get, it's kind of like speed. Speed doesn't go into slumps either.
Well, very deliberate is Wayne McGinn and his offensive staff. Loveland runs wings, tight ends, and backs.
Oh, boy.
And look at that ball fake, and here's a big play. The crowd reacts all the way down the field. Goes Michael Deshane.
About 30 yards.
Fullback switching it up a little bit. Her first carry of the game, and that is a big play for the Loveland offense with a 13-point lead.
Ball will be down at the 25-yard line. First down.
Little John down there after the play, and the official kind of trying to decide if he was going to pull his hanky out. And fortunately for the Indians, they didn't.
Michael Duchesne goes 45 yards. Sets the ball up at the 25-yard line.
What a call.
Threatening again. That was a great play call. Again, motion behind Kinney. Hands off Winemaster to the inside. He's going to bounce to the near sideline, take it down before he can get there. So good hustle defensively on the part of Broomfield and Antonio Soto, but Winemaster with a decent pickup.
Second down, 2.
Set the ball at the 17-yard line, so red zone for the Red Indians from Loveland High with a 13-point advantage here in the first half of play in this battle between number 2 and number 3. Back to Winemaster, steps behind a pulling guard, and another 4 or 5 yard pickup. Trying to get a read on who that lineman was leading Winemaster. I believe it was Jordan Cardenas, the left guard coming over to the right side. Under 10 to play in the first half. And that is another first down as Winemaster advanced to the 13-yard line. So after the huge 45-yard run by the fullback Duchesne, a first down pickup, Winemaster on foot. Ball fake Kinney goes inside, and that's stuffed nicely. Got a good read on the trailers for the Broomfield defense. Hall Edmonds, the sophomore linebacker, was one of those white jerseys. Just a short gain of 2 for Kinney, the quarterback.
Looks like he had a hole that he could have ran through to the right, but, you know, it's a lot easier sitting up here in these nice luxury booths than it is down the field.
Yeah, it's easy to see, and I'm extremely faster from up here.
Yeah, well.
My mind says I know I could get to that gap. Under 9 to play, and looks like Coach McGinn and the staff of Loveland going to take a timeout.
I want to also thank our other sponsor, Jim's Wings. Jim's Wings has been voted the Northern Colorado's best wings since 1991. They are right down there, Stadium West, right next to Moby, and I'm assuming that you have gone into Jim's Wings a few times, Marty, and right down there by Campus West, right there on right by Moby Arena, so Jim's Wings. And David Haase is still challenged any student who wants to get the really, really, really hot ones. I don't know what they're called, but I forget. But he'll pay for them if they can eat all of them.
Okay, well, I like that. Dave's got a challenge. Go to level 11 at Jim's Wings.
Yeah.
Okay, because I like it a spicy. I like that.
Oh, it's I think he doesn't think you can eat them, Marty. So
I wouldn't do it before a game. I work with the Colorado State Sports Network, so my role is reporter on the field. And I don't think the wings before the game, putting 9 miles in of work, is going to go well. So maybe post-game. But I'm in. 13-point lead for Loveland. They have come into this game, their debut of the 2018 season, and they have made statements throughout this first half, and perhaps another one coming here. Kinney, handoff to the wing, coming around, and that sweep picked up well by the defense of Broomfield.
36 made a great, kind of blew up the play a little bit there for Broomfield. 36 or 38.
That was 36. Second time we've called out the junior, Antonio Soto. So getting in on the action, just a 2-yard gain on that play. Then correction, that'll be a gain of 4.
Sometimes you just got to throw your body in the middle of it, and that's what the young man did.
Ball set at the 7-yard line. 8:20 on the clock. Back to the interior. Winemaster, can he get across? Spin move, ball down. And they're going to freeze the ball and whistle it at the 1-yard line.
He's going to advance enough for a first down. Looks like they'll mark the ball just inside the 1 yard line.
Boy, Winemaster's quick. Quick through the hole, and then
Well,
someone hit the joystick on that spin.
Another great counter play that was, you didn't know where the ball was.
Well, very familiar previous series. Ball was set at the 1, and Winemaster finished it with a 1-yard plunge. We'll see where Riley Kinney, the quarterback, and his head coach, Wayne McGinn, where they will distribute here in a goal line situation and a 13-point lead. Ball fake, Kinney over the top, steps through easily. Another touchdown for Loveland. 3 TDs unanswered for the Loveland Indians here at home.
And again, you know, the bigger issue is the Broomfield defense. They can't get off the field. And Loveland runs the ball, and they're going to be running the ball in the fourth quarter. You have a tired defense. You know, the offense has got to do something to give that defense a rest. Going for 2 this time.
Well, they missed a PAT after the last touchdown. Kenny's going to try to throw. He had an open man, but the pressure comes. Well, that's good work. Initially coming into the play was Ryan Capasso, and that was finished off by Zach Zaire. So more miss extra points.
We'll see if any of those come back to haunt them.
That was an 8-play, 70-yard drive for the Loveland Indians, finished off by a Riley Kinney 1-yard touchdown run. People wearing red in Loveland are very pleased, including the student body underneath us. You might see heads bobbing up and down on the bottom of your screen.
We'll get a shot here. There's Maxwell's getting us a shot now of the student body. And what a nice stadium. You know, I have not been here, but, man, the students are right on top of you there.
It's a gorgeous facility. It's been a while. Matter of fact, I think the last time on site here, Coach Poovey was still the man at the helm. That was a few years ago. Again, Coach Wayne McGinn has been the head of the Loveland program for 6 years now. You think of what Coach McGinn has done following up a legend, Coach John Poovey. I mean, he's done some good work, including taking this team to a state championship game in 2015 where they did lose to Windsor. Last year, quarterfinal loss to this team in overtime because of a missed extra point. Had a couple of those here in this game, but otherwise, Loveland's been dominating. Broomfield with the ball again, getting across the 27-yard line. Decent return on the part of Caden Peters, but the Eagles have a lot of work to do in the first half.
Loveland's got the recipe for success in high school football. That's a great quarterback and a great running back, and I'll tell you what, you have those 2 things, a little bit of blocking and a little bit of defense, and you've seen a lot of those teams on championship day.
Well, that's a possibility here. Certainly the pollsters with Chassa feel like it, listing Loveland number 2 in the state coming into this football contest. Yet to play a game, but they've started their 2018 season so strong. That young man, 34, just carried the ball. Again, we've mentioned a couple times. Broomfield has a win over Class 5A Legacy last week. And they got a big game out of Dylan Torres. But he has been stifled for the most part by the Loveland defense. Kroll to the passing game. And that looks pretty. Connects with Mitchell Morales, the senior wideout. And that'll be a first down. That's the first time they've collected a first down in quite a while.
Gain of 12 on the play, first down, Eagles.
9-yard pickup on the connection from Kroll to Morales, and quickly the Eagles get to work. Snap the ball, hand off to the inside. Peters stuffed. Travis Regis doing a nice job inside. 5'7", doing work along the line of scrimmage. Not fooled at all.
That's called a party at the ball there. Several of the Indians come up there and nowhere to go.
Second down, 13. Kroll trying to pass. Morales calling for it inside, goes deep, man open. And boy, that's a nice job getting back into the play. Interception for Loveland, still alive. For the Loveland defense, it was Caleb Smith. Late recognition by the All-State quarterback. And then he couldn't get it downfield off the back of his heels.
Usually in any sport, if you're passing it after somebody's called for it, it's going to be too late. I don't care if it's basketball, football.
Fair.
It's need about 10 more yards on that throw.
On a surprising misread, you heard me call it out. Mitchell Morales was parked inside between the hashes. And he was right to be barking for the football because he was open.
Right.
He was not recognized. Then the decision was to throw it downfield, and result, Loveland, Caleb Smith, interception with a 19-point lead in the first half. Back to work. Here come the Indians. Winemaster stepping through. And a 5-yard gain, eventually tackled by the sophomore linebacker, Hall Edmonds.
Jackson Edmonds on the tackle for the Eagles. Second down, 5.
5-yard pickup, Winemaster. Zach has 2 touchdowns in the first quarter from 3 yards out and a 1-yard plunge. Add the Riley Kinney 1-yard touchdown run recently here in the second quarter at the 7:29 mark. 19-0 lead for the Loveland Indians. Ball set 35-yard line, back to the run game, of course. Inside, Broomfield, strong.
Zach Winemaster on the carry once again, hooking a couple on the play. Third down and long.
A lot of big boys up front, making a good read. And then a whole bunch of help coming that time. So good swarming defense. Joey DeCamillis doing a nice job there defensively. You might recognize that name as dad, special teams coach with the Broncos on 2 different stints, now with Jacksonville, the Jaguars. Joey had a big brother coming through that was part of that team that went to the state championship game a couple years ago. Meanwhile, Loveland advancing, another first down. They just can't stop the Indians. Cody Rakowski on a big pickup across midfield.
They got all the answers so far.
They got the questions, too.
Yeah, they do. They got both.
First down, Indians.
And the question would be right now, can you stop us? 3 series, 3 touchdowns, and they're on the roll once again. That was Kinney to Rakowski for 11 yards. Kinney rolling, flag down. And Riley Kinney taking him down. Strong tackle in the open field on the part of...
Probably a hold out there.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Oh, no.
Looks like a procedure call will go against the Indians.
Always look for good parts. Again, that was Antonio Soto making the tackle. 36. He's been making plays for Broomfield defense, fair enough, has been struggling. Talked about that, very limited in returning starters. Not a lot of veteran seasoning. Did well last week, just giving up a couple of touchdowns to Legacy, but right now, Loveland's driving, marching, attacking that defense of Broomfield.
Any way you can describe inertia, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Driving, marching, running.
Don't go physics on me, you'll lose me.
I'm sorry. I'm all about
46-yard line in minus territory for Loveland. They go to the run game inside far hash, trying to get a read on the numeral there. The ball carrier was Isaiah Myers.
Oh, Winemaster's back there saying, dude, I don't have the ball, man. he got hit by 2 guys that kept playing back at about the 43. He's like, dude, the ball's up there.
The All-Stater giving body.
Yeah, it's like
on the ball fake.
I was supposed to have that play off. Rest my body.
Well, now 5th play of this drive. Approaching the 3-minute mark remaining in the first half. Kinney rides to Winemaster, then throws it his way. And here goes Zach Winemaster, and he's across the 40-yard line. First down, the drive continues.
Well, they've been able to get around that edge pretty regularly, kind of regardless of who they're throwing to, but you don't want to do that with Winemaster because he's got the goods to take it to the house.
What a pretty play, too, and nothing too fancy. Just
yeah,
ball fake to the gut, and then you turn around and go right back to him via the pass and an 11-yard gain for a first down.
Keep it simple.
And I'll correct myself. Add 2 yards, a 13-yard connection from Kinney to Winemaster. And here come the Indians again, up 19 in this Class 4A game between top threes. Direct snap fullback, and he's on the run. There he goes, Duchesne. Can he make it? The answer is yes. 38-yard score, another touchdown for the run game of the Loveland Indians.
He's got a pretty decent rushing average tonight, doesn't he?
Yes. 45 yards and 38 yards. Those are his 2 carries tonight.
That'll work.
Meanwhile, the play design, they're batting 99% so far in this first half.
Yeah. Some offensive coordinator down there is getting a high five, isn't he? We'll find out who that is.
That's Jeff Mock, the OC. He's having himself a nice game.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. So with that, we will take a timeout. Timeout on the field. 2:59 left here. 25-0. Loveland surprising the Broomfield Indians. You're watching Stream It Sports. So we're back here now. Extra point going for 2 again.
Well, they've missed 2 already. Kinney hands off, and it's a sweep this side.
Gonna miss it again.
Yes, they are. Oh, that's good defense right there. I mean, you have to give credit. Some excellent execution on the part of Preston May, senior. He's got a lot of experience. Preston May, 59. Well, stops the point after attempt, so that's 3 missed.
But it's still a 4-score ball game, so Broomfield again, and we know they have it in them, but the thing about it is they've got to be able to stop Loveland.
6 plays, 70 yards. Michael Duchesne goes 38 yards for the touchdown. 4 possessions, 4 times over the goal line for the Loveland Indians offense.
Max, why don't we get a shot of the push-ups down there at the ROTC folks, I believe. There's 25 push-ups. There you go.
Those will add up. Look at the drives for Loveland. 8 plays, 80 yards. 9 plays, 65. 8 plays, 70. Most recent one, that was the shorty. 6 plays, 70 yards. Again, finished up by Michael Duchesne. And a 38-yard touchdown. So Broomfield returning back to work and a flag down after a collision.
If you wanted to start a football game perfectly, this would be how you would do it, I believe.
Yeah. It's about as close as you can get, right?
Except for your extra points.
Extra points and a couple of flags here and there. Trey Ortega got smacked on that return, and then just to add to insult, that flag is actually an infraction against Broomfield.
Is it blocking in the back? Probably. Almost every high school kick I've noticed over my few years here.
Well, right now, the folks who traveled up I-25 in traffic on a Thursday, wearing the blue across the way, they are puzzled, dejected, perhaps shocked Their Eagles football squad ranked 3 in the state, getting manhandled right now in the first half of play. Loveland up by 25 and defending once again. The guys in red, that Loveland defense, have allowed exactly 2 first downs in the first half. They forced 3 punts and also collected an interception, as you see.
Oh, man, look at that arm on that official.
Nice arm tag. You like
25
that?
yards on the flag throw.
Isaiah Myers with the tackle, and then, yes, the officiating crew winging a fastball from out of the off screen on the right side of your monitor.
He's liable to have Tommy John surgery after that one. Another one on Broomfield.
Well, started the
result of that play will be the Eagles
series here from 16.
Second down, 13.
Pardon me, the 12-yard line. Gain 2 to the 14. That short gain, well, that's negated by a flag. Back to the 8-yard line. Worst field position for either squad in the first half of play. Stephen Kroll leading his offense, looking downfield. He's got a man open. It's Morales across midfield. Can he break away from the defender? Ball popped loose, but still it gets across the 35. Big play for the Broomfield Eagles via the passing game.
Touchdown saving tackle.
Fortunate he wasn't in the middle of the field, huh? Because he fumbled it out of bounds.
Right.
Maybe that's what they'll need. They need to score here before half to be able to come out with some energy in the second half.
55-yard pass connection from Steve Kroll to Mitchell Morales. By far, the most success the Broomfield offense has enjoyed in the first half of play. Again, juggernauts, top 3s. Loveland, number 2 in the state. 3rd-ranked team in 4A, the guys in white, 1-0 after winning the Mayor's Cup in Broomfield last week. So they've got a victory and a game under their belt. Well, it's been Loveland in red, the home squad, dominating. But here comes Broomfield, again to Morales. And a flag down after the tackle. Morales taken out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and it looks like there'll be more added to that play. Really a short toss. The completion good for 6 yards. Kroll to Morales once again. Almost get the sense that Morales had a discussion with his quarterback. Remember, previous series, that ended with Caleb Smith getting an interception. That was after Morales was parked wide open in the middle of the field. Kroll couldn't find him. We've seen 2 consecutive completions to Morales. Kroll downfield again, through the hands of the intended target, right at the goal line.
Let me tell you, folks, that is a heck of a throw.
That is a nice throw, and now we have a flag down again after the whistle. Cody Donovan, nice coverage, but that should have been caught. And you saw that glimpse of why Steve Kroll was selected All-State in Class 4A in 2017, returning starter. Had a gun on the run that time, but no completion. We'll see what the flag is. Mark Rodemaker, the head referee, along with Paul Holland, Ryan O'Rourke, Carl Keatsman, Mason Smith, the officiating crew this evening.
Rademacher, a Fort Collins and Poudre School District legend.
He looks the part, too.
Rocky Mountain.
He definitely looks the part when he was visiting with us. Ball set 6-yard line. Broomfield looking for their first score of the night. Kroll. Plenty of time. Over the top. And I believe they called that incomplete. That looked like a successful completion. Not the case. Ball popped loose maybe by the defender.
Well, I can tell you, Kroll's doing everything he can. I mean, he's
he seems like he's
thrown a couple of touchdown passes that are not.
He's definitely found some confidence in this series. Mitchell Morales, his wide receiver, has helped him out with that. See if they can finish things off. Down 25. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. Kroll again passing, looks near side. Now he's got a man wide open on the far side. Waiting, takes a shot. Ball popped loose. That's going to be a fumble into the end zone. No score for the Broomfield Eagles, and another stop for Loveland with their backs against the goal line.
Well, you know, that's the downside of having a quarterback who's rolling out. He's holding the ball like he's going to pass as opposed to tucking it in. He gets hit. He's got one hand on it. And
well, that was cat and mouse. You saw it. You were watching along with us. There was a receiver set in the end zone. And that was a decision. Well, is the defender baiting you to release the football? Well, Kroll, the quarterback, decided to go for it as he tried to advance at about the 1-yard line. Excellent play by Loveland, being physical, popping the ball loose. And there will not be a score for Broomfield. They're still getting blanked in the first half here after the fumble recovery by the Indians. Second turnover created and collected by the Loveland defense, which again has yielded nothing in the first half against number 3 in the state. Back to the run game. Here comes Loveland. I anticipated. I'm wrong. Kinney passing. And he finds his big linebacker, Sean Boylan.
He'll rumble for 13 before he's knocked out of bounds. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I think Loveland wants to have a little more fun before they start just running the ball.
Well, when everything's good to you.
Yeah. They can.
First
Broomfield can score 25 points, believe me.
The Loveland offense, meanwhile, has had 4 completed possessions, and they've scored touchdowns on every single possession. This is their 5th possession of the first half. 90 seconds left in the second quarter. Kinney is trying to step through, and he's taken down by a host of Broomfield defenders, including big senior Ryan Capasso. So no gain there, probably a loss on that play. And meanwhile, more flags on the field.
Holding will be the call against the Eagles.
Defensive holding after a sack. Nothing is going correctly for Broomfield in this first half.
A first down for the Indians.
As you see the referee, well, far side referees having a discussion. Meanwhile, right in front of the Loveland offensive huddle, one of the other officials waiting to walk it off. So they'll talk it out. Much anticipated contest here in week 2 of Class 4A football, where all schedules active now. Number 2 against number 3. I know the media showed up here.
Yeah, this was the 4A game in the state, and maybe even the game, especially for tonight.
Well, I know Sean Starr's here from the Loveland Herald. Right coach, he's here from Boco Preps.
31, first and 4.
Marty Cesario's here from wherever you came from.
No man's land. Taylor Temby's here from 9 News, battling for position in the camera pit with Max Fink.
I think she's winning.
Yeah, I think Max doesn't know what's up.
Yeah, she's got a good elbow,
exactly.
she says.
Right. Taylor can go.
Max is too polite.
Right.
He's saying, yes, ma'am.
Max doesn't know the resume of Taylor. She's a jock from RC. She'll send him over the rail. Well, physical play of the Loveland defense after Steve Kroll was about a yard out from the goal line, trying to extend, fumble, recovered by Loveland, and here come the Indians once again. Cross the 40, unable to get the first down.
And you know, the offensive coordinator, you mentioned him, but the offensive coordinator has said, you know what, we're going to run these same 6 or 8 plays until you show us you can stop them.
That OC is Jeff Mock.
Yeah, and
the offense has been nearly flawless.
How many times have we seen that little swing pass to the left side? We've seen 2 of the fullback up the middle for about 80 yards.
Right now, batting perfectly. Drives of 80, 65, 70, and 70. And 4 touchdowns on the board for Loveland. If it looks odd on your score bug, it's because the Indians have missed 3 PATs. Meanwhile, Kinney rolling, looking downfield, has an open man across midfield. Another first down, and Loveland continues with 18 on the clock and a chance to put more points on the board here in the first half.
47-yard line of the Eagles. First down, Indians.
Nice catch. Caught it with his hands, brought into his body, and what are they going to do here? 9 seconds, so they're going to go for 1 here.
Kinney sends one downfield, and too much pressure coming. Yeah, that's Ryan Capasso taking him down, and Loveland's going to be just fine. That was the only time in the first half they didn't finish a series with a score. Time ran out on them, but they're still okay. The boys in red, number 2 in the state, powerful. An emphatic message sent as they debut the 2018 season. 4 touchdowns on the board and a 25-0 lead for Loveland over Broomfield. We take the halftime break here on ASBN with Stream It Sports.
The cost is $30 on the last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! Yes!
Love my job.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2018 RAV4 or get $2,500 cash back on RAV4. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
After playing the game for many years, and I decided I could either watch from the couch or get on the field and become part of the game.
I became a judge because it was a natural transition from being a gymnast to coach, now judge.
I love the large crowds, the excitement of the game, and you know what? I got the best seat in the house.
Help these kids. Help this community. Become an official.
Pay your friends back before they pay you back. Zelle on the First Bank app. First Bank, banking for good.
So we're back here at halftime, and got our guest here, Mr. Sean Starr, and it's good to meet Sean. He's the Reporter Herald here in Loveland, and kind of wanted to get him on here. We just started our first game ever with Stream It Sports here at Loveland High School. We'll be doing a few other games, a couple of volleyball games and stuff, so just wanted to get you on here, let our audience hear you and some of the stuff going on here at. There you go.
Thanks for having me on. Quite a first half there for the Loveland Indians, obviously. Did not see that coming with history between these two teams over the years.
I don't think anybody. I think if you wanted to write up a perfect half of football, except for the extra points, we just saw it.
Absolutely. I mean, and Loveland brought back a majority of their impact players from last year. Their senior class is really the large core of their team, and a lot of those guys playing both sides of the ball. And like you said, perfect first half. I mean, they're running the ball pretty much at will and mixing in a little pass here and there. Defense is getting stops, and you really couldn't draw it up any better. And for Loveland, they got to be pretty ecstatic because this is a Broomfield team that has been the only team to beat Loveland over the last 2 years. So I would imagine those Indians are pretty happy in the locker room right now.
Oh, I bet they are. So, well, I wanted to bring you on here. We talked about this game, but you've got other schools here in the Thompson School District, and you cover preps for the whole district. So just kind of wanted to what else interesting is going on? I know we had a big volleyball game. I believe Loveland won a big game. Was it last night?
Yeah, a couple nights ago. A lot of cross-town matchups going on early in the season. Loveland's beat the other two teams in town. First with a sweep over Thompson Valley, and then they took down Mountain View a couple nights ago. But the thing that stood out to me most so far is Loveland softball pitcher Lauren Krings. She's a junior, and she's leading the state by a wide margin right now in strikeouts. She's averaging over 2 strikeouts per inning, which is unbelievable. I think she's got about 4 no-hitters and 7 appearances so far. So.
Oh, yeah, I did read that, man. That is unbelievable.
She is, batting cleanup for him, too, hitting a couple home runs, so she's quite a player to watch right now. They're going over to the Erie Tournament of Champions this weekend where there will be some pretty good teams, so it'll be fun to see what she can do. I think they're playing an Oklahoma team tomorrow, Broken Arrow, so it'll be fun to watch and see how she stacks up against some other competition.
Well, we know, covering a lot of Poudre School District, this Front Range League in softball is massive.
Certainly, yeah, definitely.
I mean, Fossil Ridge and all the teams in the Front Range, many years double-figure teams in the playoffs. So Loveland has always been one of those powerhouses too.
Yeah, they have a pretty good tradition of success. I mean, I think they won the state title about 5 or 6 years ago or so. They got a young team around Krings, but you have that pitcher, who can, unlike baseball, you can toss that pitcher out every game and she can throw every inning of the season, and you got that, and you don't really need a whole bunch else around her.
No, you don't. And many teams have proven that over the years. You get that good pitcher and that cleanup hitter, and get a few people on base, and you can go pretty far with that. So anyway, so tell us how people can read the things that you write and how they can connect with you and different things like that.
Yeah, so reporterherald.com/sports is our kind of homepage. We have all our preps and Colorado State coverage right there. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sean V. Starr. We're also on Facebook at Reporter Herald Sports. So if you're on social media, we're on Instagram as well. So we also have a Twitter account, RH Preps, where we send out a lot of coverage. So we're multiple places where you can find us.
You're everywhere. And
That's
also tonight we were honored that you all shared our link on the website. So Mike was good enough to do that for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that was a good thing. So we look forward to that. Again, we're going to do a couple of volleyball games as well. So if you're there, we'd love to have you on anytime that we're out here doing games. We'll do a few basketball games as well. So we'll do a package of games that will hopefully create a good partnership here. So
certainly, sounds good.
Anyway, thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate
Thanks for having me on.
All right,
Appreciate
and
it.
we'll be back here with Brad in just a few minutes. You're watching Stream It Sports.
The last of our 2018s.
Toyota's national clearance event is the best part of summer.
And with super low APR financing and great lease deals, it won't last long.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You are not alone.
Thank you. Mwah! Yes!
But my job.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2018 RAV4, or get $2,500 cash back on RAV4. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Save on the last of the 2018s. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
After playing the game for many years, and I decided I could either watch from the couch or get on the field and become part of the game.
I became a judge because it was a natural transition from being a gymnast to coach, now judge.
I love the large crowds, the excitement of the game, and you know what? I got the best seat in the house.
Help these kids. Help this community. Become an official.
Pay your friends back before they pay you back. Zelle on the First Bank app. First Bank, banking for good.
So I'm back here now, and we're at halftime. 25-0 is our score. Unbelievable. And I've got Brad Kochi here with Boco Preps. And Brad, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Do you?
No. No, I'm still stunned, actually. It's all credit to Loveland. You know, we knew this was going to be a good game, and you know, they had more players coming back than Broomfield this year, but
yeah.
You know,
We always talk in our broadcast, you know, the public schools, you know, you play who comes, you know, you don't really recruit like you do in maybe some other schools. And so you got to play who's here, and that's who's here this year. And many teams, you know, once you get your seniors in there, that's kind of your year to do some stuff. And I know we did the Broomfield playoff game last year against Windsor, and nobody saw that coming either, you know.
Right.
So.
Right.
They're 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids.
Right. Well, and, you know, you can definitely see on the Loveland side that they remember that game in the playoffs against Broomfield, losing in overtime by 1, and they just look every kind of dialed in, and Broomfield looked like they were on their heels from the beginning of the game. I mean, they've only got 3 first downs in the first half and a couple turnovers. It's
like 3 drop balls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
everything.
huge.
Yeah, everything's just going one way.
I would, you know, as I was saying, Loveland played almost a perfect first half of football, especially offensively. It's like I don't know what else you would want to do.
Yeah, and, you know, Broomfield lost a lot of guys on that defense, but they looked really good against Legacy last week.
Yeah.
They only gave up about 80 yards on the ground, less than, I think, 230 total in the game. So, you know, as good as Loveland has looked, it's still shocking to see them just tearing them up in every way.
No, we wouldn't have seen this. You know, sometimes I've watched a lot of games over my lifetime. Sometimes it just looks like one team, the game's too fast for them. And that's what it looks like right now, but I would expect Broomfield to completely come out second half and be who they are, you know.
Well, they've been a second half team, or they were at least last week, so I think there's still hope.
But the one thing, what Loveland's doing doesn't go into slumps, though. See, that's what I'm saying. If they were a pass happy, you could do that, but they're running the ball. Tell us a little bit more about Boco Preps and what you do with Boco Preps and just what that is for our viewers who may not know.
Sure, yeah. We provide content for all the print publications in Boulder and Longmont, Lafayette, Louisville area. On top of everything that goes on our website and social media, you can follow us at Boco Preps on Twitter.
Cool.
We're excited about the season. We're still excited about Broomfield. I think they're still going to have a good year, and we've got tons of good, ranked football teams from Meade to Skyline to Erie. Looking to go back to the 3A state title game. So it should be a good year for us in the area.
We've got Skyline and Longmont. We're going to be broadcasting that game, which is definitely circled for Skyline. For Coach Mike Silva, I can tell you that.
I'm willing to bet that that's a circle for Longmont, too. You know, those are two crosstown schools that it's going to be really fun for that to be a really competitive.
They haven't played for, what, 2 or 3 years or something like that?
It's been a long time, and it's been a long time since the two programs have been really competitive at the same time. So that game, I mean, we've got that one circled too. Believe it.
Well, we'll be there, man. That's well, we picked up a couple of Skyline games too, so we're doing that one in the Monarch game. So,
sounds great.
So we're going to be so we're moving our way up I-25, man. From Fort Collins, we're going to move right up to where Denver starts ignoring the north. So anyway, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, you
bet.
bet.
We'll see you around at these other games when you're at. You're welcome anytime at halftime to come and share. And again, just remind people where they can find you and everything that you do.
You can follow me at Brad Kochi on Twitter. That's BradCochi, and follow Boco Preps on @Boco Preps.
All right. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you around.
Have a good one.
Our score again, 25-0 here at halftime. We'll be back after these messages for the second half. You're watching Stream It Sports.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game. Become an official.
So here we go with the kickoff. Here's my partner, Mr. Marty Cesario.
Certainly an impressive performance by the Loveland Indians in that first half of play. 25-0 lead, as you see on the score bug. Qualify that with the fact that their first 4 possessions, they dropped 60, 80, 70, 70, 4 for 4, 4 series, 4 scores, and the only time they were stopped was a sack at the end of the second quarter to end the half. So really they ran out of time in their 5th series. Meanwhile, the Loveland defense allowed minimal yardage, forced 2 punts, fumble recovery. Here they come again. Zach Weinmaster, can you catch him? He's going to push off with that left arm and eventually take him down near the 5-yard line. So the bloodletting continues. Loveland, their second play, their first snap from the line of scrimmage to start off the third quarter.
Nothing fancy about that play. That was a handoff to the right, over tackle, I believe, maybe around the end, but it was...
Zach Weinmaster, the All-Stater, with a huge run. They're going to mark it down at the 7-yard line.
That's what Broomfield needed on their offense.
That was a 63-yard run for Zach Weinmaster. Back to the run game. Weinmaster's going to finish it off on his own. 2 plays and a touchdown to start the third quarter.
He says, let me finish it off. That's what he said in that huddle, I'll guarantee you. Have a game, young man.
Well, if you wonder if they're going to settle down, speaking of the Loveland Indians with a sizable lead, and here comes the Broomfield comeback. Well, there's a statement made right out of the gates to begin the second half. We're at 31-0, 2 plays, and a whole lot of Weinmaster. Third touchdown of the evening for Zach Weinmaster. And that'll be Zach once again, number 3. Across the line of scrimmage, lead block by Cowboy Boylan. So Boylan leads, Weinmaster scores the PAT to add the 2, and it's a 33-0 advantage for the number 2 team in the state in Class 4A.
And you can see the rankings points going up even as we speak, can't you? I'm not even sure who's number 1. Is it Pine Creek?
Pine Creek.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a tough argument. I mean, Pine Creek is. They're Pine Creek.
Yeah, they're Pine Creek.
Right.
But if I'm wearing red and black tonight,
well, you got to feel confident.
Yeah.
If you played Pine Creek tomorrow, you would come into the game with some confidence.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that was an 80-yard drive in 2 plays.
Certainly not what the defensive coordinator for Broomfield was looking for.
Well, and I think all the media here, all the fans, even the Loveland community is probably and likely surprised by what is occurring right now. We're not even 25 minutes into this game. It's 33-0. Looking for a big return there, and across the way, getting past the 30-yard line is, well, a young man who's been playing pretty hard throughout the course of the game as we pick out the good parts. Caden.
I wish we could have remembered who chased down Weinmaster, because I'd like to give that young man credit, because he could have very easily just let him go on into the and score, you know, but he didn't give up, went all the way down, and we don't know who it is, but I'm sure his parents do.
You know, I almost think it was Caden Peters who just had that return.
Yeah, it could have been.
Broomfield's offense starts at the 33. They're going to go to the run game, and blasting through is Dylan Torres.
You have to center yourself now as a team. I mean, you guys say, okay, what do we do? You know.
6-yard gain, Dylan Torres. Been handled pretty well after a 150-yard performance and 4 TDs in the win over Legacy in the Mayor's Cup during week 1. Now miscommunication on the motions, but no flag, and Kroll settles down and hands it off to Torres once again. He'll gain another 2, and that'll set up 3rd and short at about the 43-yard line. Yeah, it is. This is one of those moments where, okay, we know what it is. It'll take a miracle, but let's find out what we're about.
Yeah.
After a 55-14 win last week, now you're down 33, and you just started the second half. Here comes Torres again. He'll get the first down, baby steps, near midfield. Well, one way to settle things down is let's hand the football off, and we'll go between the tackles.
Well, they got to hold the ball, like I said earlier in the game. You know, the offense hasn't given their defense any rest.
Dylan Torres once again, 4 consecutive carries for 34 in the white. Marty Cesario along with Randy McCoy, executive producer Phil Mildren.
And whatever you want to say, they're not in midseason shape. So that defense of Broomfield's gassed. I'll guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, a counter play, and boy, read perfectly by the Loveland defense, and there's Sean Boylan. The reads are right, the execution's right. It has been a very impressive performance so far, and we still have a whole lot of football to go here at Ray Patterson Stadium in Loveland, Colorado. Stephen Kroll, passing game, he's got a man open, overthrows him. Opportunity missed for the Broomfield O. That'll set up a 4th down. The Eagles are going to punt the ball away. They're still in minus territory. And they're down 33. Loveland will not have a return man retreating. About 15 yards off the line of scrimmage is Zach Weinmaster. So that is preventative defense. They're going to allow the big kick.
Booming kick.
And that is actually an excellent kick, except for the gunner couldn't find the football in the darkness. We have switched. It's that time of the year, right, where we transition. First half, a little daylight. Now it's fully dark. My eyeballs are adjusting.
8:46 remaining third quarter. Begins at their 20-yard line.
Want to thank Brad Kochi and Sean Starr for our halftime. Good job, good information. Talking about that little Loveland pitcher who has just been killing it. 4 no-hitters already for the Indians. We got to see Taylor Timby. I mean, my gosh, what more could a crew ask for?
Mike Brohard is downstairs, also with the Loveland reporter, a colleague of Sean Starr.
All right.
Yeah, well, again, it goes with the story. You know, on the schedule, this is definitely up on the marquee.
Yeah,
I know it was part of my piece on the Colorado Preps Network. You had to. Top 3 teams in Class 4A, and then, of course, the storyline coming in. 285 days ago, I had to do the math on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was 285 days ago, quarterfinal matchup in the playoffs. Loveland scores, they miss the PAT. Broomfield scores, they hit the PAT. Loveland suffers their first defeat of an entire season, and they go home in the quarters. And I know the motivation Twitter and the next play mentality, but sorry, the upperclassmen remember that game.
And they got a lot of them on Loveland.
Yes, they do.
And that's
29-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Third down, 1. Jackson Edmonds.
8 minutes left, third quarter, and here come the Loveland Indians once again. When we say a lot of guys remember too, that was part of what would scare me or think positive for Loveland coming into this game. Doing the preseason research, saw a lot of familiar names from the Indians, one of them Zach Weinmeister, but also a whole lot of defenders. That made me think, yeah, Loveland could be salty. They could be tough.
Well,
and then Broomfield lost a lot of guys, especially on defense.
And there's ebbs and flows of, you know, football teams, especially the non-private schools. You know, there's, again, you get who you get, you know, who goes out that year, and a lot of times you graduate an entire team and you've got to start back over. And
first down play from the 33. Ball fake.
Nice counter.
Boy, that's a good piece of work with the ball handling of the quarterback, Riley Kinney. Eventually, Cody Rakowski with the carry. Off the counter to the far side hash. And a gain of 7 yards for Rakowski. He gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And second down, 3 coming up.
I want to thank Mr. Kevin Clark, the athletic director for Loveland High School, for allowing us to come in and highlight this wonderful football team.
Real nice night under the lights for the Loveland community, because it looks good on screen. Again, honored to have you here so we could share this and get to watch these guys who've put in so much work now get to be showcased on an online platform. Loveland, of course, enjoying themselves much, but again, the Loveland community, Ray Pedersen looks outstanding under the lights right now. And then, of course, the Indians from Loveland High School have been dominant. Up 33 here in the third quarter with the ball. Kinney up the middle.
Another first down.
Goes off tackle. How about the work of that interior line of the Loveland Indians? Logan Koch, Jordan Candinas, Brendan Bauer, Trevor Bretches. There's Josh Sharps, and then the tight ends, Caleb Smith and Trey Cardenas. Really no razzle-dazzle in the formations for Loveland, right? Wayne McGinn and his offense. 2 tights, 5 linemen. We're going to run the ball. That's what we're going to do. And they've done it well. Right on cue, they go to the passing game in a rarity.
Or we're gonna roll out.
But it's all going to work off the run game. Well, Troy Finnegan, one of the few returning starters for the Broomfield defense, does a nice job in coverage there. And that will set up 2nd down and 10. Nose of the football, 45-yard line. Marty Cesario along with Randy McCoy. Max Fink running the show. Actually, without him, we're meaningless because he's the one doing the pictures.
Great job tonight, Maxwell.
Yes. That's what Rammies do, perform. Again, it's showdown week. Meanwhile, Zach Weinmaster again gets through across the 20. Big gain for the All-State running back from Loveland High.
You don't think there's a few teams looking at this game going, maybe a team over in Windsor, maybe a team over in Monarch, maybe a team over in Skyline, going, oh, what is going on up there?
Greeley West is looking, Longmont's looking, Skyline.
Oh, I thought that was a pick'em game.
.36-yard gain, Weinmaster, followed up by Kinney, keeper off guard, far side.
And you know, I haven't even thought about this. They score a touchdown extra point here. We've got
we got a broadcast that's going to get real quick with a rapid pace.
Who would have ever thunk that?
I would have never guessed that. 10-yard pickup by Kinney. So 1st down and goal for the Loveland Indians. Number 2 is trying to force running clock with a score and a PAT here on the number 3 team in the state. Weinmaster, spin move inside. He's taken down. So good fight by the Broomfield defense. You know, you try to find positives. And again, I call out Antonio Soto. 36 has made me call his name many a time in this game. Of course, that's saying nice things. And, hey, football's a game of men. You know the reality. You've still been walked on, and you're down 33. And Loveland's looking to score from the 4-yard line. Kinney, snap, handoff, inside. Weinmaster, taken down immediately. Ryan Carpasso. Correct myself, that was Joey DeCamillis making the tackle. So good surge across the line of scrimmage by DeCamillis.
And Indians are saying it's on the Eagles. But let's see what the men in the stripes say. This has the same feel of that playoff game last year when Broomfield upset Windsor. It's like nobody could figure it out, but Windsor never could figure out the game. And
well, again, 5 series, 5 touchdowns. The only drive that was stopped was at the end of the half for Loveland. Realistically, trying to go 6 for 6 on full drives. Inside, stopped again. Think the kids from the Eagles team know what the situation is?
I'm sure they do.
We do not want to give up mercy rule.
I think the Indians are deking them on the inside, and then they're going to run a bootleg or something.
Thinking one's coming to the outside with Kinney on foot?
I believe so.
4th down play coming up. This is situational, and hey, fair enough. There's minimal flaws in this game, but once again, Loveland's having trouble with the kicking game. So
and they're kind of in no man's land here. What do you do?
Toss, sweep, Weinmaster cuts, scores! His 4th touchdown of the evening, Zach Weinmaster.
I'm just about speechless.
Yeah, you kind of run out of descriptive words to explain what Loveland has done.
Offensively, they have played almost a perfect game.
Yeah, again, kicking game on extra points. All right. You get a C on that one. Maybe a C minus D because you've missed 3, which is why we're seeing this. We'll see what happens on this one as Rakowski left-footed releases up and good, and we indeed get a running clock enforced on the number 3 team in the state. And there's the swinging arm of one of the officials on the field.
Swinging arm of fate.
Fair enough. 2:18 on the clock, which is now running regardless of stoppages. Zach Weinmaster with his 4th touchdown run of this football contest. That time at 2:18 on the clock in the 3rd quarter from 3 yards out. Previously in the 3rd, a 7-yard TD run. Weinmaster also from 1 yard out, and a 3-yard touchdown run that got the scoring started back at 6:52 in the 1st quarter. Loveland is now 6 for 6 scoring every time they've had a full possession. Their only drive that was stopped was because they ran out of time to finish up the 2nd quarter. 40
and they got
to
stopped
nothing.
because they were kind of running some plays they wouldn't even normally run.
Broomfield receives at the goal line. Looking for a big play, and they'll get to the 35-yard line. And obviously a tough situation for Coach Blair Hubbard and his Broomfield Eagles.
First down, Eagles.
The kind of messages that you don't necessarily want to even talk about game planning for. Okay, what would happen if we're down 40 to nothing? Ranked 3rd coming off of a 55-14 win.
Yeah, I don't even know what you just keep playing, you know.
We'll run around the end for a few yards.
One thing I know, September 22nd in Windsor, Colorado, we have Loveland and Windsor on this fine station.
And that's at Windsor?
Yes.
Okay, so on the campus of Windsor High School, where I always like Windsor because you go in the back on that north side, there's the huge tire, and there's like a rooster and a toilet, just the old school kind of training. So Loveland and Windsor are going to battle on that night, and that'll be right here. Produced by Stream It Sports on ASBN. End of the 3rd quarter of play. Running clock. Number 2 has put up 40 on number 3. Loveland with the big lead.
Friday night here at Ray Patterson Field. However, we will technically be the visitors in that game.
So we're back here, 4th quarter, and fumble. Looks like Broomfield picked it up. No, it came out of their hands. Let's see what we're...
Is that going to be the 3rd turnover forced and collected by the Loveland defense?
I thought the Broomfield player was down, but
we'll have to see. Coming out of the pile with possession of the football was outside linebacker Mike Lewis. Meanwhile, the Indians, something that obviously matters at any time is the health of your football team, but Loveland's got a lot of two-way studs. So you got to stay healthy. And look, there's not one but 2 players down on the ground. We'll wish the best for those guys, and we'll take the break and come back.
back.
Not one, but two guys down. The good news, Loveland fumble recovery at the plus 19. So here they go again, up 40 running clock.
And looks like some.
Yeah, we're not going to see Kinney anymore. But two guys down. That was Austin Jones for the Loveland Indians, who's a junior lineman. And then also Colby Mock, a junior utility skills player and linebacker. Colby also the son of a gentleman who's had a very nice evening. Jeff Mock, the offensive coordinator for head coach Wayne McGinn.
Number 5 is in a quarterback now for Loveland.
And add to the fact that in the first half, return to a starter Trey Cardenas went out, and my understanding is that's not looking that great. Nothing confirmed, but that may be an injury to Cardenas, a key returning player. That may be multiple games for him. So that's one of the things at this level at Class 4A where, you play your studs. That's what you do, is you got to stay healthy. And despite the gigantic score and numbers put up by Loveland and what is going to be a big, emphatic victory and statement by Loveland, they may have some injury issues coming out of just game 1 in 2018. Meanwhile, reserves working, 10 minutes on the clock and ticking. They'll set the ball up at the 15-yard line. And a fourth down play coming up. And Loveland will snap the football. You're not going to even try to kick. Your kicking game, not having the best night. And you're going to let the reserves snap it. Right now, Zach Rakowski is running the offense, number 5 for Loveland. Fakes the handoff. Good step to the inside. They'll pass the ball, and it's going to be a touchdown.
What a play by the young backup quarterback.
I mean, it really was. Put his foot into the ground, left foot plant, evades the pressure, and delivers a touchdown strike. So Rakowski, I believe, finds 16. That Caden Butler?
You're wealthy.
Everything's good for Loveland. And remember, the first half we were talking about notable media professionals who were here at the facility because, well, deservedly so. Marquee game. Well, they're gone.
Yeah,
Those highlight reels are already being made right now, and
a couple of them are late getting here.
Yeah.
They didn't see no highlights.
Game recaps are already written, and they're moving on to whatever's ahead on a Friday night coming up.
Well, I know here on Stream It Sports tomorrow night we have one of the better rivalries in the state. Fossil Ridge, Fort Collins be playing tomorrow night. Really doesn't matter where those two teams are. Anytime those two teams get together in any sport, it is a dogfight, and we've got that on tomorrow night. Stream It Sports.
And that'll be on this platform again.
Yes.
On ASBN. Produced by Stream It Sports.
And kicker getting some confidence now.
Yeah. Well, that was another Rakowski.
47-0.
So Zach throws a touchdown. Big brother Cody, the left foot through the uprights. And again, I think now we're in shock mode, right? 47-zip, number 2, over the third-ranked team in the state after the Eagles put 55 up and allowed only 14 to a Class 5A team in their own neighborhood just last week.
When you figure out teenage guys, you be sure to let me know, okay?
Uh-huh.
And girls.
Right now, the Loveland Indians are 7 for 7 in full possessions in this football game.
Unbelievable. I don't know that I've ever seen. I'm sure it happens all the time, but Haven't seen it that often.
Yeah, maybe an 8
I don't remember.
7 for 7.
And those aren't field goals either. Those are touchdowns.
No, right. Those are all touchdowns. And here comes the Eagles return game. He's had a lot of work to do.
And something we haven't really talked much about is the Loveland defense. I mean, they're pitching a shutout here. To, one of the best quarterbacks in the state.
Yep, that's an all-state quarterback with some skills players returning with him.
And Loveland is cleaning out this stadium early.
I mean, this is a team in
school night, so.
Yeah, you're right.
So we got it, guys. You all go home now.
Broomfield, a semifinalist last year. Really a remarkable run, actually.
Yeah.
Under Coach Hubbard. They were a low-seeded team that advanced to the semis after.
I think they were an 8 seed, weren't they?
Yeah, getting through.
And beat
Loveland.
#1 Windsor, I think.
Well, they had returning guys on their offensive line. They had an all-state quarterback coming back. Dylan Torres is certainly a really good running back at the 4A level. You wondered about the defense. Only 3 returning starters. Not a lot of veteran seasoning there. But then how they started last week with that win over Legacy to win the Mayor's Cup. Well, it's been all Loveland, period. Matter of fact, there's your written game recap. All Loveland, period. Here's the box score.
Yeah.
Easily knocked out of bounds. May have been Donovan or.
Everything has gone correctly, including we went into that mode, Randy, where, I mean, the stadium looks beautiful. The community looks outstanding. Max has got pictures of the red popping here in Loveland on a beautiful evening in northern Colorado. Not much else to say besides watch the clock tick. Running clock. And now reserves out on the field for Broomfield. And this one you just put in the book. So next up.
Happens to everybody, too. And
it does, right. And that's going to be some of the messages. Coach Hubbard, I mean, guy can coach. He's got 3 state championships and another championship game appearance under his belt during his tenure here at Broomfield. Third-year head coach Blair Hubbard's going to have some talking to do with his guys. Next up for them, they'll be playing Stanley Lake. That'll be next Friday the 7th. So they will look to rebound. Now going 1-1. Look at reserve blitzing for the Indians. Three and a half left in this game.
Again, we do want to thank you, all the fans from Broomfield, as well as Loveland, for coming out to support of high school athletics.
So 7 for 7 goes the Loveland offense, and meanwhile the defense blanking one of the top programs each and every season here in the state, and really just one threat by the Eagles defense. Remember, in the second quarter, Stephen Kroll found Mitchell Morales as wide receiver a couple times, and they got close, and then Kroll drives on foot near the end zone. You thought maybe go ahead and toss that to the far side in the corner, elected to run, and a Loveland defender, and I'd love to get an eye on who was that, but popped the ball loose, disallowing the QB to get to the goal line, but also forcing the turnover. And here they come again. Reserves working near the 10-yard line with 2.5 left.
There's an old saying we have in the Midwest, they're running roughshod over the Eagles.
Cody Donovan with the big run. I mean, Zach Rakowski, the sophomore, has stepped in, and he's perfect running the offense. Had an impressive touchdown pass previous series.
Well, you know, if Loveland's doing this to Broomfield, there's a few other teams down the road here that might be looking at this same fate.
Well, Loveland looks good. I think the big one will be is You got to find out what's the status of a few injured players. 3 different Loveland Indians were brought off the field, and none returned. The second 2, and that occurred on the same play.
Classy,
that's just because of
classy move right there, taking a knee.
Took a knee. Well, because we're done.
Yeah.
But the big one was Trey Cardenas. I have to find out the status of two-way impact player for the Loveland Indians.
So we wait for this to go down. A minute 14. I'm in shock. What else can you say, folks? Yeah. You've watched just an annihilation of another team going in thinking it was a pick'em game. But we've seen it before in all sports. You know, one team comes ready, one team doesn't. Gets away from you, and before you know it, it's 47-0.
What an outstanding statement in the debut for the 2018 season for Coach Wayne McGinn and his Loveland Indians. And we've done it a few times with the OC, but also credit Alan Jeffries, the defensive coordinator. A shutout of the number 3 team in the state. Jeff Mock, the OC. Not bad again. I'm going to tweet it too. 7 for 7.
Yeah, that is amazing. So, folks, thank you so much. Thank you, Marty, for helping us out tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great atmosphere here. Our first game at Loveland, and fortunately for Loveland, it ended up 47-0. And Broomfield will have to go back and figure a couple things out, but I'm sure they will. They'll be there at the end of the season like they always are. Broomfield's a proud high school in every sport.
Yes.
And they will be there as you see the teams shaking hands. So for Marty Cesario, from Maxwell Fink, this is Randy McCoy. Again, our score, 47-0. Loveland over Broomfield. You've been watching Stream It Sports. We'll see you tomorrow night from French Field.
It's Northern Colorado High School football, live on Stream It Sports NoCo. This broadcast has been brought to you by Jim's Wings, Northern Colorado's favorite wings since 1991. By Pedersen Toyota in Fort Collins, everything cars made easy. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in Northern Colorado. First Bank, banking for good.